just walk in thinking, maybe they'll have a space. Is that a pretty tough situation to handle?
Mr. Chairman, we're back live again.
Okay, sorry guys, we lost you. We're back on now. We were having a discussion about closing the DMV. And
It was
McCall.
just like that past 1 minute when
Well,
Commissioner Holland was speaking.
Okay.
Yeah, anyway, it's just that, as you've explained to us, we've got so much of this we can do online now. It's pretty much a standard in today's world, except for a few old guys like me. But anyway, it just seemed like it makes sense to go where you're talking about.
And I understand all the conversation, but I will support my constituents. We are asking McCall to come to Cascade for every single thing we do now that's providing a service. So we're putting that $48,000, $50,000 worth of expenses on the taxpayer because it's gas to come down here. It's their time away from work. They can't do anything in McCall, and that is our largest center. So I have concerns with it.
Nick, could you maybe go through what can be done online and internet and by phone?
Yeah, so there's really nothing that cannot absolutely be done through the mail, online, or over the phone. Even a title transfer is definitely more tedious and takes time, but that can all be accomplished through the mail. And we have during COVID, when we were closed for a couple months, we were only helping customers with those transactions through the mail. So we've done it before. We know it can be done. You can always renew online. That's always an option. You can do it through the mail. They have QR codes now for those renewals. You can file your release of liability online now. You don't have to come to the office. You can also mail those. Over the phone, we can renew registrations, reprint out missing documents. We can do pretty much everything over the phone except those title transfers. But like anything else the customer would need reprinted or to purchase a registration, we can do that. So
Meg, if you have everybody coming here now, you guys are gonna be busy. Who answers the phone?
Well, we would have, right now, it's so difficult for me to answer the phone because I am training somebody and we are having customers consistently come in. It is difficult for me to get to the phone. Same with, I was by myself for 2 months. It was a challenge, like, to get to the phones. But if you have more people, then you have that burden can be shared more. You could say, hey, you're on phone for like 30 minutes. Kathy and I used to do that during COVID. We'd get 200 phone calls a day and we'd split it and be like, you help customers, you be on the phones.
So you'll have a process in order to
There would
take
be a
care of
process.
people in an appropriate
Yeah.
manner.
Right now, we're just trying to do the best we can, but we're spread so thin right now. So with one clerk in McCall, we're getting that spillover down to Cascade. I am training a new clerk, which is very intense. So yeah, it's just a tough time at the moment.
So right now, the people are not utilizing all the online services that they can be if you still have people driving down here.
So yeah, most of the people coming down are doing title transfers. I'm not seeing a ton of people driving down from McCall to renew their registrations. They're mostly doing that, I'm assuming, through the mail or online. I'm not seeing a lot of people from McCall doing those renewals.
So what you're saying is you don't really anticipate seeing just a huge rush on office here.
No, we've been, so outside of June and the first part of July, we have been pretty slow. The McCall office would have big gaps of time between customers. We were having big gaps of time between customers. There was a lot of downtime. We were all trying to find other projects to do. So I think having everybody all in one office and having customers come down to one office, we would keep that consistency of work where we're not sitting there waiting for people to help.
So I'm concerned because basically, I just heard that all the appointments are full. So people are still utilizing the McCall office.
Only
That
about,
would be,
only about 10 people a day are able to make appointments through the McCall office. So that's not very many people. And they are booked. I think a customer can book 2 weeks in advance. So I haven't checked to see how full that calendar is, but I mean, they're not getting through a lot of people during the day. I do get a lot more McCall people lately.
Here. Well, I was here just a few days ago, and when my friends from up there came here, I was wondering about that. What he said, well, it's just better. You can walk in. You know, that's, well, and I sympathize with what Commissioner Mopin's point of not offering services to that end. But again, it's just, I guess, those give or take situations, I suppose.
It's just difficult. It's difficult in every single department that we have right now because we can't find help.
Yeah.
You know, it's impacting our customer
Yeah.
service in every area, and including Jeff building roads. I mean, you know, every department right now is struggling for employees. And there has to be an offset to that somewhere, and I understand that. It's just,
And with the McCall office, if it closes and Angela comes down, we will have consistency.
The customers.
The public will know that they can go to Cascade and come in. We will not have to close because my one employee is out sick
Right.
for the day.
better knock on wood.
Well, I think the big effect that I'm concerned about more is we're losing our funding from the sale of licenses. We're
It's
running
huge.
we're gonna be running red, and I don't know if that's really the intent of trying to save taxpayer money. That may change because who knows, maybe 2 or 3 or 5 years from now, the state may decide this isn't working out. And we want to go back and restart this whole program with the counties. And I'd certainly be willing to look at it. Then opening up another annex back in McCall, I think we have a great relationship with the bank, and hopefully we could go right back in there and fire it right back up. But in the meantime, when you lose your funding, you either cut positions or you consolidate or whatever you got to do to make it work. And we're kind of forced to do this, I think.
Meg has done an excellent job of breaking it out. And starting with this fiscal year of '23, we will be losing approximately how much because IPD will take those fees?
I think it was about 60,000 was the impact for this year.
So in saying that, how much are we spending on rent?
$7,200 a year, $300 a month.
So the only thing we're saving, because we're
600,
bringing
excuse me.
the employee down here,
600 a month.
we're only saving $7,200 in rent.
And the other position that's left.
Commissioners, if you recall, you allowed for an additional position down in McCall.
Mm-hmm.
So that comes out of our budget then. Is that correct?
It would
I
if,
mean,
Yep.
And when we had two of them, when it wasn't the busy months, as Meg said, it was slow for them, both of them, this winter.
Isn't it usually like January and July when are your 2 hardest months? Seems like a lot of renewals in the first of the year.
Yeah, so yeah, everything, a ton of stuff comes up at the end of December. So mail was a huge thing for us in November and December. But with that centralizing, we're not processing that. That was our biggest challenge, was not necessarily the walk-ins, it was handling all of the mail renewals.
Yeah, we'd get a stack sometimes this big in one day of mail renewals. We don't get that anymore. And we do not get the admin fees from them.
All of that, just put it on record, the state had promised not to do any of that, and they did it anyway. So, shame on them.
So I'm going to go ahead and make a motion that we approve June's plan of closing the DMV in McCall by the end of September.
And I'll second that.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
With
Okay, so the motion is approved. Thanks, Megan, for all your work on this. In June, I'm sure we'll catch some heat on it, but I think it's pretty easy to understand our decision on it.
Yes, it has not been an easy one to make. But Megan did a lot of work on it, and it's best for him.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Doug, do you know who we're doing an evaluation on today?
I do not.
We're doing Jeremy, and I've got all the forms. I'm emailing him right now.
Can you ask if he can come up now?
I'm doing it right now.
Perfect.
Thanks for putting up with my whining. So the sheriff's department, she's out until Thursday. Dave's telling me that they do log their time, so I'm asking him if there's a mechanism to request reimbursement out of Title III for that. All right. The forms for Jeremy.
I don't really know anything about what he did.
That's because he's secretive.
Huh?
That's because it's secretive.
No, it's like, no, not touch the keyboard on the track.
Doug, with approving all those, we didn't even have to use any of our carryover funds, did we? For cash forward?
Yes,
Oh, we did.
$2,226,000 is what our cash forward is projected to be.
And we last year had how much? Not really eating into a ton of it. And is there anything in policy that sets a minimum amount of cash forward?
No, it just, in the code, it says the county can fund an additional year's budget using cash forward, but it doesn't.
I have it actually right here. Well, maybe not. Yeah, I do too. Cash forward was 2,600,000 last year. 2,500,000 was on here, so.
Yeah, 2,616,784.
And then in 23, on mine, it says 2,515,000. So about, we're using about 100,000.
Yep.
That's not bad at all.
Did you want to have the commissioners make a motion to go into executive now, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, I was gonna see if Jeremy can make it up though. He can come up now, we can go in now, or
It shows a green button. Does that mean he's available?
I don't know. Green button.
On your calendar, if you have stuff on your calendar, it'll show either red or yellow. If you're done, it shows you're free, but it doesn't mean anything.
So you want me to do, Doug, you want to just sign off? And then I'll text you
Yeah,
when we come back out. So I need a motion then to go into an executive session for Title Code 742061B.
So moved.
Have a second?
Sorry.
Went into executive session.
Second.
Okay, by roll call, please.
Mop and I.
Alan?
Hasbrook, aye. Doug will be in at